Good evening, and welcome to everyone who is here. You collectively are about to become the players of an online game. You watch a Twitter feed, and occasionally you vote. The majority vote determines what happens in the stories. It's like choose your own adventure, but just for legal reasons, no, it's not. Jodie says, I'm writing a choose your own adventure at the moment. There's more to it than you imagine. Fucking right, there is, Jodie. You work together as a team to solve some puzzles, and there are quite a few big decisions to make. Actually, quite a lot of things in this are clues which set things up later, but the difficulty is you don't know when it is clues and when it's just complete fucking gibberish. That's the great thing, you never have to do any of it. In fact, you don't have to play. None of us has to be doing this. We just are. Amazing, isn't it? Matt and I are the ones that created a format where you do 4 times as much writing as you need to. Here we go. Story begins. God, what a night. So that's a bit of acting. There'll be some acting. The truth is you have been unsettled in your job for a long time now. You look gloomily out of the window as the familiar workplace approaches. What is it you do again? So you have now the choice of the standard 4 career paths, really. Beekeeper, plant, goon, anaesthetist, something with cheese. Since the last version of this, we now have views. So you can see that 600 people viewed that, which is more than are participating. And you do wonder what you think of this. Cheese, nature's ham. It was your passion. You're thinking about it as you arrive at work. Maybe you should talk to Francine. The chances of getting a heart-to-heart with Francine are non-existent. Your boss is so paranoid because of the nature of your work. There's no privacy. As you're walking around, you have to say your name every step so you can be tracked. Honestly, you're tired of hearing Dean as the PR guy gets his steps in. How have you stayed here this long? Francine immediately and swiftly goes through every hand signal imaginable, and after the last couple, looks pointedly at you. If you're a regular player, you'll know that a sort of dreadful puzzle is coming. What does Francine like? Bands. She likes music. She never stops shaking her stuff. Is there a way you can put your problems in a single musical phrase of some kind? You now have the opportunity to speak to Francine using one of the 4 series of hand signals here. Milo says, I'm just pressing buttons and having fun. I think that's fine as long as you don't become, for example, an air traffic controller, Milo. I don't know if you've heard about the company. It's just called that. I don't know anything about it. I've just heard people talking about it and it reminded me of you. Maybe look it up on Bing. The email sender is the company and the subject line is, thank you for your interest. The message is brief. It acknowledges your application and invites you to attend an interview on January the 21st. Ooh. The big city. The big city. You'll have to buy a pair of trousers. You think again of should I stay or should I go? If I stay, there will be trouble. If I go, it will be double. Yeah. In that instance, obviously, the right decision was to stay and be in half as much trouble. You're really surprised he bothered with this song. But you are not Mick Jones. You are your own man or woman or prefer not to say. And it's time for you to go. Now the decision's made. It feels as if you get out now. You've got ants in your pants, as they say. Footsteps. You hold your breath. Dean. No, that's probably Dean. You stagger to the bus stop, soaked in sweat and other fluids. You've done it. You've quit. A new message flashes up. Francine, my heart is as heavy as the Le Creuset crock pot. Huge one, comes in blue, £178 from John Lewis. But I know this is right for you. Crock pot, by the way, I think should be one word, but it was auto-corrected and I deferred to but I think as one word, crock pot is enormously
should be one word.
Right, okay. So I regret that I allowed a computer to tell me what to do then. On we go. Anyway, you can all picture the Le Creuset crock pot. It is one of the most beautiful items in the world, I think. And I'm not even a cook, but it is. You just, there's obviously other beautiful things, zebras, etc. How is she so sure? Zebras are so fit. We haven't got time. How is she so sure? And I've seen zebras for real, and they're like, if anything, they're even fitter than you think. How is she so sure? I need to stop thinking about when I went to Kenya. And how do you feel so sure? You haven't even got a job at the company. You just have the promise of an interview in 3 weeks. Even that is exciting. You feel nervous and excited all in one. You need to decompress. What do you do to wind down? Have a cry, have a think, have a wank, have a drink. I don't know if you've just seen the latest, but if you're looking at the numbers that I'm looking at, it is an exact three-way split between the classics, really: cry, drink, and masturbate. And this really could. I mean, these are options that everyone sometimes confronts. Only have a think is unpopular, which tells you something about this. A couple of people say I'm a thinker, very lonely. Well, I'll tell you what I do when I'm lonely. No, that's the joke. It really is as tight as shit. Hang on. Right, okay. We couldn't find any results for crock-pot. Well, that's funny, Le Creuset, because je l'ai trouvé. I found it earlier when I was fucking looking at it. So,
saying that you're some sort of influencer, but every crock-pot on the John Lewis site is now out of stock.
We've never had this. We have not ever had a Thai Gina. Fine, we go for both. The perfect duo. Well, right. What happens if you put crockpot as one word into Le Creuset's website, Melanie?
The John Lewis website has them as casserole dishes, but I prefer crockpot.
Where the fuck have I got crockpot from? Maybe it was even later than I thought. Have a good go at yourself, and at the climax, you're on such a high that you go and leave a 5-star review for a restaurant you've not even visited. We're now hearing crockpot is a different brand, but earlier today I stumbled upon a link to something called a crockpot with Le Creuset. So someone's been naughty. It's fine. It's exciting, sure, but you don't even know what the company does, what it is. There's talk of something called Butterfly, which seems to be a form of AI. It's all fairly impressive, but your name's Hans if you can work out what the company might want with you, and your name is not Hans. You're hopeful, but also cautious as you approach the company's HQ. It's a brick building, looks like a repurposed factory. The Co logo picked out in black wrought iron letters all the way up one wall. You stink of cheese. You had a shower and a bath and a little paddle in the bidet this morning, but you still worry it's seeping out of your pores. And you people chose to work in cheese, by the way, you fucking perverts. You don't want any more dates like that one where that beautiful man looked bang in your eyes and said, "You're perfect, this could be forever, but fuck my boots, I've never known someone smell this much of gorgonzola." Nope. You want to be in tech. You got a train today, as far as we know, we saw a little bit of the train journey in the credits, in fact.
Yes.
To be honest, is bright, and so is ha. Actually, there's almost not a noise you can make in that genre which doesn't fit here. Well, I suppose this is the interview question that everyone dreads, so we'll get it out of the way. What would you say is your biggest weakness? So your options here are: maybe I'm just too hardworking, no sense of smell, awful self-doubt, or just love arson. Be careful here. Mal asks, sorry to ruin the illusion, but what time does this finish? On a Netflix show, you don't normally get someone popping up on the screen going, "How much more of this is there?" Anyway, I'd like you to take this very basic coding test. He turns the iPad towards you. In 90 seconds, could you please identify as many films as possible from their emojis here? How many of these films can you identify? Back to the Future is correct. American Ghost Story, very good. I know that a lot of you are neurodivergent, but we're going to have to make the puzzles even more fucking stupid. Hope your trip back is a comfortable one. I believe you're in seat G12 this time. Out in the corridor, you glance around in the hope of seeing anyone at work, anything that will give you a clue as to what really goes on here. Or maybe there's something you're still not getting about this whole setup. It's the tall, bald receptionist here, says the tall, bald receptionist. Thanks for coming in, and see you again. I didn't really need to speak in this bit at all. As you approach your house, your heart gives an anticipatory flicker. There is a strange item on your doorstep. Strange to some people, at least. Recognize it instantly as a crock pot. You remove the lid, but there's no food in there. Just a handwritten note. Welcome to the company. Please present yourself at Big City Airport for a 7 p.m. flight tomorrow. Bring your passport. You're awake, which is good. This is a big day. You're relieved you didn't oversleep. You were never going to, really. You set an alarm on your phone, another on your old phone. You asked your neighbour to bang on the wall with his massive great plunger, and you hired a male voice choir to sing through your window. On the radio, they're talking about the Oscars. The jitters won't settle down. It's to do with the mystery job, yes, but also the flight itself. You're a nervous flyer. You need to do something to get yourself mentally prepared. You Google, hi, I need to get myself mentally prepared. You always begin Google searches with hi. It's only polite. They've got a lot on. What would you like out of being hypnotized or being spoken to by a pilot or listening to your favorite song? I don't know how the song will go down, really.
I got my very bad dogs. Your benches fucked, baby. I'm sorry about that. Don't worry, let's get that dapper down.
Okay.
Encore.
All right. We'll do the pilot's message.
Hello, I'm Julia Masley, the famous pilot. I have been flying planes for years, and it is completely safe. Apart from if you get an old plane, it hasn't been made properly, or the wings of the plane are completely shit. But most of the times, it is totally safe. Unless a bird flies into the engine, and then we're completely fucked.
You've got the essentials: phone charger, slippers, chocolate body paint. Without knowing the name of the word, it is a bit tricky to guess what else you could need. What one thing are you going to desperately pack? You try to see into your future self. So, all is ending, and perhaps not surprisingly, and in fact, you may well have already budgeted for this in the design of the game of the tuner. Fine. Not by much. It's the common sense approach. You don't know how long this flight is going to be. You have a body. You get hungry. It's only life. It's only natural. If you're sitting in the sky somewhere above Azerbaijan and you've already asked for the second and third helpings of the tiny beef, this sneaky tuna is going to be so sweet. Fine. You battle your way out of the door, running into 25 Welsh singers in red blazers disassembling. They've created a human pillar, one singer on another's shoulders, to reach all the way up there. Guide me, oh, the great Redeemer. They begin. Thank you, I'm up. You shout, bustling past them. Your PayPal Mercer choirs on the train. Mr. Mercer has written, the way we price these things up is quite simple. The Sopranos are as many pounds as there are lines of The Sopranos spoken by the character Johnny Boy Soprano. That's the first time I've done a website sim for 15 years. Choiroutsideyourwindow.com is a real website as of yesterday. The lead singer of that band, my favourite band, DM'd me yesterday, but we have even less time to go into that. It was the best moment of my life so far, and I've had two children. The airport shuttle is less crowded than you expected. You've got enough room to stretch out. You get up, and your pulse accelerates again like a dog or climate change. There's a suspicious package by the door. You've heard about suspicious packages. You remember a messaging campaign which really emphasized that if you see one, you should either report it immediately or just chill out and think about something else. It's a rucksack covered in question marks and eyes emojis. Your mind is made up instantly. It's your duty either to raise the alarm or to find the owner of the bag or to do nothing at all. This might feel like it's too much for you. Sometimes in life, though, you must, and again, not the nicest phrase, but the only one that fits, really, pin your dick to the lighthouse. What fits the bit? Your options are pull the emergency alarm, find a grown-up to tell, ask anyone's bag, or fling the fucking thing out of the window. Big call. Guess what? You're paid to make big calls. To throw the potential bomb out of the window. All right. Well. Okay. You wind down the window, heft the package onto the tracks like someone throwing a Christmas pudding into a canal as they do at home. Train skids to a halt. This is your driver, comes the announcement. I'm afraid someone's been a real tool and will now be stuck there for a while. It's an hour before you get going again. You're now pushed for time. The queue at security is long. There's a half-hour wait from here, says an official. That's if the guys are on form, but I won't lie. They went and got lashed last night after the dog show. I've never seen them so rough. As you reach the front of the queue, you see this sign and your blood runs cold. I don't know if you can see, this is a list of prohibited items and canned fish is one of them. It was a terrible mistake to bring the tuna. Everyone knows there's been a huge crackdown on that. You're absolute twat fingers. You reproach yourself. It makes you feel worse. The security official called Camilla is manning your conveyor belt, for want of a nicer way of putting it. She says, just to check, no liquids and nothing naughty from the sign. You wouldn't bring a naughty thing in, would you? Sorry? You feel on the back foot. I said, you wouldn't bring anything naughty in, would you? You're alarmed. Camilla's eyes fill with tears. I've just been messed around so much, I could do without any more of that, thanks. I apologise, Camilla adds. I'm hanging out my arse here. I'm rough at it. That means as fuck. I'll never be another Great Dane in my life. It'll be too soon. Anyway. Anything you think out of your bag. Right. This is a wrenching dilemma. You promised your granddad you'd never lie, but you almost promised him you'd never do life drawing. And look at you now. Will you declare your goods? So you have basically 4 very discreet options here. Give up the tuna, keep your little secret, give up, go home, or, and this is a rogue option, you can ask Camilla out and see what happens. Or, it could be a tie. Famously, we've had a tie between crying and wanking. We all remember what happened.
Oh, what a night.
What a night indeed.
That was a night.
We were talking about that on the way up. It's never lost its luster in our memory. It's Matt's screensaver. Hare says, we have a job to get to. We can't get distracted by hassling a crying woman. Yeah, there's an argument. You shouldn't just keep asking people out. All this ending, and I think by a narrow margin, you've handed in your tuna. You pick the offending item out and put it on the belt. Camilla takes a long look, winks, puts it back in your right. Amazing. What a win. You've been honest, played by the rules, and still got through with all your stuff. You feel seriously upbeat. You feel like you could fight DiCaprio. You head into duty free as carefree as a hummingbird. It was just spraying Williams's fragrance, cold pragmatism. When a willowy man steps out from behind the knife counter. Weather's warm for this time of year. Do you mean you're some sort of agent? Putting spy stuff. He hands over a purple envelope. Here are your tickets. You rip it open. Rub your nose, eyes, privates. These are for the Eurostar. Yes, says the mystery man. We're at the airport. Yes, says the shady agent. It's convenient for me to live around the value round here. Really up and coming. Anyway, you better be getting a move on or you'll miss your train. Well, you really don't know whether to piss or go bowling. What on earth? All this stress gets to the airport. And now it turns out you need to get from Heathrow to St Pancras pretty quickly. So now we pass over to the chat box. In 3 minutes, you must write the best route from Heathrow Airport to St Pancras station in North London. But it needs to rhyme. Good luck.
Expressed at Paddington, but then you've got to do some serious changing.
How many mispronunciations are we accepting?
Pragmatist to think about rhyming. Don't be silly.
Nothing relevant.
Relevancy, isn't
I
it?
think we've got Herne Hill.
So borrow a broom and zoom, zoom, zoom. Fly direct, that is correct. So that's Jodie's work, and that is probably the best. Jump in the trebuchet, you'll soon be on your way. Yes, that's undeniably effective and also cheap. We're seconds away here. Someone who's flying carpet, it's not too far, pet. That involves on.
Newcastle.
Well, you've made it to the train. Christ on toast. This feels like a long day already. You sink into your seat in the traditional manner. You absently open one of the drawers of the magnificent walnut escritoire, which is a bit too complicated to throw in as casually as that. Your heart goes a bit chicken-like again. There is a note in the company typeface. METEPADZOLESPOTCHETES. Wow. What in the name of Lenny Henry are you meant to make of this? It has to be an instruction. It's surely important that you do what they want. But must they speak in code all the time? You look around the room, a dictator bed, which is one up from Queen and King sizes. You could a walk-in shower, better than the ones you can't walk into. That's an actual joke, to be fair. We normally have one an episode. A TV, trouser press. What might the code mean? Arrow leads for pressing your slacks, and the poll is ending. Okay, fine. You fire at the trouser press, absolutely grill your trousers, then whip off your knickers and change to them. Your garments are now stiff and straight as concrete and feel like chastity belts. It's been quite tiring. Surely the last thing you should be doing is sleeping. You could be sightseeing, but until you get instructions, this town seems hardly worth the time. Maybe you'll let yourself drift. Maybe Hillary will be out there again. But you have vague, uneasy dreams, an explosion, the shattering of glass, a door opening, the drawer of the escritoire squeaking. You wake up. Oh, God, the last two sounds were no dream. A man is here holding a gun. The man doesn't seem to have noticed you. He raises the gun. God, he's pointing it at his own head. You have to stop him. You have 5 seconds to decide what to do to avert disaster, although because of the way time seems to slow down in this crisis, it will feel like 5 minutes. Exactly. You could throw a pillow at his head and then ambush. You could lunge at his shins like a dirty footballer. You could try to knock the gun from his hand. You could order room service and hope that's a distraction. Which? There are your choices. The head, the shins, the hand, the meal. I wish Camilla was... Of course you wish Camilla was here. You had the opportunity to get with Camilla. You might not get that opportunity again. Oh, my God. This is as close as the legendary Kwai round. Holy shit. It looks like the shins by 1%, but we don't know until the poll ends. We don't know. This is yeah.
Yes.
The shins wins, and I think you probably were right. There's been 4 different shins lyrics in the game so far. Plus the choir master shared a surname with the lead singer of the shins, so that is handy, isn't it? Often in life, you make decisions, and you don't know till later whether it was the right decision. Sometimes it wasn't. And then all that happens is your life just goes badly wrong. You grab the gun, panic, run into the bathroom, shoot the shower. Commotion has brought people running into the room. The concierge, Poirot, naturally. Also, Nicholas, who presents the news, so likes to be there when it happens. Thank you, he mutters, and sorry. He's led away by the concierge while Edward says, and the man is being led away by the concierge. Then, off camera, he remarks to you, what a night, the Oscars business, and now this. The famous news anchor, conveniently Welsh news anchor, is gone before you can ask what he means. Your phone lights up. There's a voice message. It's Francine. It's good to hear. Francine begins. Hey, sorry, I'm working extra shift. So, how did you know? I understand why you couldn't tell me. I just don't get how. I would have been sitting in that seat. Hanks invited me specially because he was so he screwed me that time. God knows what would have happened to me, man. Look, I have to go. Thank you. Francine. You put Google on, and as usual, pay the $7.99 charge search engine. You type, hi, what has happened to the Oscars tonight? Newspaper headline that comes up, your breath away. Oscars 2023. Light slaps down in the empty chair right next to Tom Hanks. So If Francine had been in the seat she wanted to sit in, her clever head would have been stoved in by a chandelier. If you hadn't slept in what is probably the wrong bed, nobody would have stopped that man doing something terrible. An email pings into your inbox. You check it. You feel like you already knew it was from the company, though, before you even read it. Good evening in the UK. Good morning here on the Eastern Standard Australian time, and also in New Zealand. I think good afternoon in most parts of North America. And a couple of you, it's a case of good fuck knows when, really. Yes, this has obviously been the result of even more last-minute international collaboration than usual, but we're in safe hands. I don't think anything reassures an audience like, ladies and gentlemen, this was all planned. So I wouldn't have minded if the pilot had said that during my traumatic flight. Anyway, the email's subject was "Love of my life?" ? Big call from Camilla, who you've only met once. And the email said, "Hey there, my name's Camilla, and we saw each other when I was working at the security gate at Heathrow." Well, I still am. Sorry, tied myself in knots here. Camilla, P.S. Do you like honey? So to say the least, a strange email from Camilla. All you know is you're going somewhere on a plane to do some sort of deeds. It almost angers you that your new employees are so cagey about everything. It would be nice to know your destination. What have they got to lose? Unless it was an astonishing coincidence, it seems like you saved her life by stopping her going to the Oscars. Her head would have been smashed like a piñata in front of Hanks. A man asks for your boarding pass. Here's the boarding pass, and you can see, unusually for a boarding pass, there is a series of question marks where the destination should be. Unhelpful. Yeah, but that must be where they're sending you. Yes, that's right, you bluff. At Monaco, the Grand Prix, the world's biggest soft cheese, and so on. I wrote two more of them, but they weren't. There was no point. It was too big. That's what your character suddenly says, and so on instead. It's not until you're walking through security you remember Camilla. There she is, just as you remember her. Pigtails, a fedora, and then another hat on top of that. She lights up like a candle at the sight of you, a horny candle. How are you, you say? I'm hanging out my ass, says Camilla. Used last time. It was the Honey Expo last night, so obviously I'm a wee bit delicate. The Honey Expo, she says, you've not been? It's happening. This intriguing woman with her top-level nose and earthy charm is inviting you to a premium honey event. It's exactly how you imagine things might go. But is this madness? What are you going to do? It looks as if honey has a narrow lead over the banging, actually. Perhaps surprisingly. Look at this. It does look like a tie. It looks like 43 each. They've both gone blue. They've both gone blue. It keeps flashing between a lead for honey and a tie. Well, this is the thing. We managed to cry-wank it thanks to some wizardry by Matt, but I don't know what we do here. Duncan's absolutely right to say it's down to the wire. This is fascinating stuff. This is Bush and Gore territory. It's going to come back to it. Christ. Yes, you've gone for honey. By God. I'd be enchanted, you say. To attend a honey symposium is the greatest thrill. You're surprised. Where you are. Winner, yells Camilla and sticks her tongue in your mouth. She's very sort of weird, isn't she, Camilla? My God, I can't let you out of my sight. Camilla is an emotional person, you sense. I don't want you to go to Monaco. Stay here with me. So you now have, remarkably, the choice to... once again, as you did with the cat sitting thing, the choice to duck out of your mission altogether. Monaco mission, so in other words, you stick to your guns, quit, work at Heathrow. That involves you starting a new life at the airport. Take her with you, a curveball, you try and get her to come with you. Or as we've all done in stressful situations, you can pretend to faint. Once again, a vote for you. Why don't you come with me? You turn the tables. What a move. Gasp, says Camilla. But love, I can't do that. It's a Saturday. We nearly always get a bomb. This is as sharp as this thing of 100 bees. You carry on, head down, heart full, tits normal. You know, it's a real on-off relationship with Camilla. Can I have your name, Master Driver? What name would the company have you under? And that name is what you used for your first ever email address, your granddad's name, which was, of course, yeah, it's right.
Sorry.
I don't think I ever said it wouldn't be a case of... You're in a good mood as you rumble down Monaco Road to the Monaco 2. There's a real buzz around this event. A huge banner says, "Welcome to AI conference of some kind, 2020." But you need to get down to business. You were here for one of the 4 things the company emailed you about: to steal some sort of AI chip, to express yourself well, to impersonate a croupier, to do medicine. Which is it, though? Stealing, dealing, or stealing? The thing is, stealing things, sometimes there's a message in the company, is not really allowed. You're working without briefings from a boss. You still couldn't really say in detail what the company does. You seem to have responsibility for affecting the course of events unrelated to you. Now you're considering a crime. It really is enough to make a cat laugh, and you don't mean that in a good way. You can't just go straight in and try and steal this priceless AI component. You surely need to do a practice theft first. What are you going to try and steal as a warm-up? The phone I can get. I'll steal the pet. The wallet, I bet. Or the gold. Doesn't rhyme. It's gone too far the other way already. "Hey, doggy," you hiss. "Hey," I don't know how you speak to dogs. "Hey, good doggy, come here." The dog turns around and addresses you in a human voice. "It looks like you're trying to steal me. Would you like any help with that?" Almighty, the dog was a fucking robot. You can't relax in this AI conference. Feelings. You've got plenty of those. Well done, Matt. I wouldn't wish the task of changing this on the fly on anyone, but he's done it. You've got plenty of those. It wasn't clear from the briefing email how expressing your feelings would benefit the company or how they want you to do it. Why not just sing? You open your mouth and out comes your heart, not as in a hemorrhage, as in a song takes form from nowhere. The lyrics: "How do I know if I'm a machine? Maybe all the time, that's what I've been. How do I fit into this scene? Whoa, machine." More and more people are singing it now. Chris Martin from Coldplay puts a hand on your shoulder and offers you a 7-figure sum to write this song. You thank Chris, but explain that you want to keep artistic control and see where this journey takes you. He says, sure, of course, respect that. But a few minutes later, you see him punching a wall. The fact is, your thoughts have started turning towards Francine. Your feelings are all about her, about this strange period of friendship. You want to write her an email back. You could do it now and you'd make the email post. Your heart thumps about like a beagle in an escape room. The super GPU, £880,000 worth of AI processor housed in liquid nitrogen. So it is here. Surely your job is to steal that after all. Mandela's bits. This feels huge. You were standing over a silver vat about the size of a crock pot. That's where it was. Yeah. Now, you could just plunge your hands in there and grab it. Or you could also use the pair of stealing tongs. Or you could try to grab the entire vat. Or you could break down crying. If you take it out of the nitrogen, it will die, says Rob dramatically. A healthy lead for using the stealing tongs, which does seem like the thinking thief's choice, really. I got told you could drink liquid nitrogen as long as you do it really quick. Yeah. The instant you lay hands on the stealing tongs, emergency sirens sound. Robber, thief, ne'er-do-well, crim. You drop the tongs and run like a goose in trouble. You see dressing gowns flapping about, people's bits on display like pasties at a deli. You all scramble out of the building. There's a colossal noise. Bang! More than that, even. You look back and catch your breath. The building is going up in smoke. There's been an explosion. Nobody would have survived if they'd been left in there. And nobody would have got out of there if you'd not set off the alarm. They're showing over and over again CCTV footage of the package exploding. It's a rucksack covered in question marks and eyes emojis. It was meant to harm many people. You saved them with your botched theft. But why? You put your headphones on and tee up one of your favourite songs, the live version of I Won't Do Any More Crime by Robert and the Very Bad Dogs. And I think we're going to play you out with the popular hit I Won't Do Any More Crime by Robert and the Very Bad Dogs.
I ran a massage parlor without training. Slowly digging fingers into laxative. It's only
Good morning, sort of, here in Australia. This month you have not been sent on an assignment that you know of by the company. Then there's your love life. Tomorrow, you and Camilla are off to the Honey Expo. The more you read about the expo on Twitter, the more you wonder whether it's a good place for a first date. The level of honey fandom is staggering. Of course, you've done your best. You decided that Manuka was probably Camilla's honey of choice and spent more than £1,000 Googling it. Camilla has sent a text which is nothing but 100 bee emojis. You read it in the shower with your waterproof phone. A second text comes in. Now, a tree. It's okay. Nobody at Latimer. Take right, eastern entrance, obviously fast. Left, easiest bet. Aim north, on needles. My brother isn't a saint, she said. He's not even in the Bible. There's a pine, an ash, a cedar, and a massive bugger of a tree. Which one are you going to search in for your ticket? This is an actual solvable mystery. Yes, Camilla couldn't have made it much easier. Each first letter in her text spelled out National Tree of Lebanon, which you know perfectly well is the cedar. At a zebra crossing, painted bee colours for the day, you see two men being separated. Acacia is full of antioxidants, you fucking prick, screams one of them. It's potentially harmful to diabetics, shouts the other. Manuka honey, you remind yourself, is made in Australia and New Zealand by bees who pollinate the flowers of the black locust tree, $7.99. Among these benefits, you remind yourself, Manuka honey is good for skincare, can soothe sore throat, helps to learn new languages, can be used instead of petrol in a car, and promotes good digestive health. First, of course, you've got to get into the expo. You produce your ticket, a little nervous. Name? Demands the woman behind the grill. Sure, you say. Full name, asshole, roars the woman in New York accent, pointing a gun at you. This really is a lot of security. You don't think Camilla ever told you his first name. So which of these names will get you into the expo? Paul Shaw, Brett Shaw, Abraham Shaw, or Johnny Shaw? Oh, a bit of genuine honey news from Alan Lewis. The main problem is whether the stuff sold as Manuka honey is genuine. Much more is sold worldwide than New Zealand exports, and no one else produces it. What the fuck, Alan? People are passing off regular honey as Manuka. Yeah. Oh, something else to worry about. All right. I saw someone get punched in the face at a honey expo for listening to the band The Jam. That's how serious some people are. Brett Shaw. Cool name. But it doesn't sound like she thinks it's cool. She sounds sarcastic. You certain? Holly suggests maybe this is the favourable vote where we're supposed to choose the same answer twice. Well, is it? All she asked you is whether you're certain. If you are certain, you should re-vote for Brett. And if you do, we'll have made the company history. Yes, well done. You've for the first time ever, repeating your guess has come off. She nods. Just checking you were certain. Sorry if I came across aggressive. Okay, gate 5,721. Enjoy. Camilla, well done. Camilla jumps up and down in joy. Aye, isn't it? It was the talk of the IBS awareness night. I don't have IBS. There you go. I don't have IBS myself, but a couple of my mates are big into it. I want to do everything in the world too in alphabetical order. Camilla hisses. She makes her point by admonishing you playfully. You were late. And then blindfolding you. The letter C reminds me. Curtis Callahan. Yes. She seems to vibrate even hearing the name. You wonder if you should be insecure about her adoration for this beekeeping behemoth. You've read he made £95 million this year. He owns the intellectual property rights to bees. It's a tenner every time someone gets stung. Still, for now, Camilla only seems to have eyes for you. She caresses you, debates you about whether agave has any place alongside honey, elongates you briefly, but still turning up. You don't know if you can physically wait for the cave for the kiss. Everything's perfect. And then it suddenly isn't.
Oh no.
Oh no is right. Storytelling. Please halt, she barks. Peer here, she barked into a radio. Put it all. Paul. We're just carrying out some random checks to ensure only genuine honey fans are attending. Please, here. I'm going to ask you to eat this lavender honey, important, and tell me how you rate it. Pierre's eyes bore into you like acid. Tracy's allergic to lavender. I'm sorry to hear that, Tracy. That must be a shocker. The 4 cheeses pizza, please. Okay, and has anyone got any allergies? Yes, lavender. Okay, I'll just bring you the 4 cheeses. 8, you think this is pleasant honey? Pleasant honey? Peacock shakes her head, narrows her eyes, narrows her head. Camilla is trying to stay neutral, but looks anguished. Is this so basic, this question? Shit, but that wasn't what Pierre was after. 3, 4, yes, you've bravely gone for 3 or 4 because you weren't born yesterday. You noticed your inquisitor, Pierre, repeating PH phrases. Almost everything she said was PH, PH. It was pretty clear they were asking for the pH of the honey. Not loads of verbs begin with K, not in English. Anyway, kiss, 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 kiss. You take a step back for breath and some food. And what? Francine? Camilla can see you looking at Francine. We're just friends. All good. No fucking. You hear yourself reassure Cam. Francine, she begins. Look, you don't have to do that. You're not in work. You see Camilla squat and thump the ground with both fists. I don't fully understand the company and what it does, but I think there's something weird going on. And I'm worried for you. Maybe let's leave. What on earth are you going to do? So a big moment plot-wise, this. Are you going to allow Francine to take you? Are you going to return to Camilla? Mike's just asking for clarification on whether this is tight. Yeah, this is really, really tight. It's really, really tight. Back to Francine in the lead. This is, really, really interesting. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Francine's won it. Christ, didn't expect that. But now they're screaming for a different reason. As you and everyone are watching horror, Agave protesters invade the stage. They had turned dozens of bees on Callahan. Okay, it looks like you're going to throw water on him. He jerks about a little bit as adrenaline floods him. Yes, adrenaline. That's what his stung body needs. When you look out, you can't see Camilla or Francine. You feel pretty empty. You're at home. You feel deflated. The company would like to invite you to our corporate away day in Edinburgh on August the 21st. That is during the Edinburgh Fringe, isn't it? So maybe you are tired and bemused and sexually frustrated. You put on the only song that has really ever spoken to you about sex, Sexy Montage, by Robert and the Very Bad Dog.
1, 2, 1, 2. Come on, play your instruments.
Sing along if you know it.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. I woke up a few days ago to him having sent that, and his text just said, "I've gone too far." When you look back, you don't think you did much wrong. You went with your heart and this was a huge plot moment. You let your greatest friend, Francine, take you away from Camilla. Yet, you seem to have upset everyone. Francine texted you, nice life save, but there wasn't even a kiss. Camilla is ghosting you, but her Facebook has been pretty spicy. When I was about that age, the cool boy in class came up to me and said, "What's the rudest word you know?" Confidentially, I said, I know shit. And he looked me in the eye, and as if I was an idiot, said, "I know fucking bastard." Tonight, you are back on company duty. Today, you have a mission. And for once, the company have given you a bit of information. It's a murder case. Your mission is to prevent a murder. Our butterfly AI has detected that it's going to happen somewhere on the Simpson Burn estate, home of millionaire Bryn Thompson. Are you going to be able to put your coat on without tipping the balance? Yes. This is... We've wanted to do this for a while. There are 4 hooks. Somehow you need to spread the coat over all of them. 25% of the coat on each hook. What a delicate task. Somehow you've got to get to as close as possible to a 25, 25, 25, 25 split, or the coat stand will become unbalanced. Very, very interesting. This is funny.
That's never going to work.
Doesn't make sense.
Because one of them was losing, so then you all panicked and voted for that, and now that's winning. And now you have to vote for something else.
We're really over-indexed on one here.
If we get another go, only 4 people vote.
Despite your efforts, the coat stands unbalanced. I say despite your efforts, you were fucking marvelous achieving it. It looks like nobody heard you. You're going to have another go. This time, you're moving the coat so lightly, it's as if you aren't touching it at all. The tension in your hands, your shallow breath, your clenched downstairs from... Will you be able to... This was a good effort, you think to yourself. The coat stand teeters a little bit, but you're able to steady it with your hand. In bending to do that, you notice something under the coat stand, a clue, like you get in murders. What the actual pissing hell, you think? The layout seems a bit random, or maybe not random. But yes, okay, Tony's explaining. Tony was the first one to get it. I still think this is amazing. I don't understand how people do stuff.
Too many.
It is basically binary, although ASCII is, as I understand it, in some way related computing language. You didn't expect this to be an overnighter. You feel far from safe yourself in this place. And everyone here is a possible killer and also a possible victim, including, you realize with a jolt, you're both of those things. The company software predicts things that nobody can know. Your mission is to prevent a murder. You can't know if you have already done that, but you have to assume not. That was where we left it. We left it with you going to bed uneasy, with a murder still in the offing, with a number of jumbled clues, some of which make more sense than others, and at least one or more of which is a Richard or red herring. You clear your throat. Alexa, how can I help? A voice comes from your kneecap. You're glad you paid £220 for Alexa Premium, which manifests Alexa in your actual body. Here is a list of pretty shit Bond movies, she hisses. Which Bond movie are you going to try and get yourself off to sleep by watching? 4 overlooked Bond movies: Too Tired to Die, Horse Bomb, Sinister, and James Bond Goes to Wales. Sinister, featuring comedian Mark Watson as an ineffectual Bond who struggles with the admin. This movie was criticised for the one-dimensional depiction of a creepy female baddie. You remember the song, the video, that's not the end of the company. Something else is going to happen. Are you imagining it? A poster for the film you started watching. You scrutinise it carefully. There are 1 or 2 names that jump out. This is Mark McDonald's work. Actually, I don't think you can see it high enough definition that there are. Oh, no, you can. Okay, fine. This is, are you doing that? Okay, fine. Potentially important clues again. This is your moment. Stop, you cry. Stop before you commit a murder. Change your mind, and I will never tell a soul. It's what I came for. Stop right now and give me what you were going to use. But who are you saying this to? Yeah, but it let me put 6 in. So what's the poll? Why are you okay? Listen, Alex, okay, I'll help you. Right. You know Did it go wrong? Did they know everything and have their own reasons? Is there even more about the company than you don't know, than you previously thought? Is its moral compass not what you hoped? Is there a moral compass? What is your role in it? What should you do next? The company, as we've said, is in August and part of the Edinburgh Fringe, but will, as always, be streamed. But it'll be a bit different because you'll be watching people go around the building having a strange time of things, and the building will be a church. Going to busk at the show.
But we're going to have fun.
Nothing. I don't think I'm going to have fun. If they can't find out.
No, we're going to have fun.
Well, most people here don't know what it is, so if they can't see the tweets, then the show just...
No, we're going to see the tweets. The tweets we've got down. That's ready.
Okay, well, let's see.
It's just, we're not live.
Fine. We're not live.
We're going to have a great show.
We'll still have fun. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Reassuring to see so many of your fellow company employees here. The job has been pretty solitary so far, travelling to far-flung places, preventing far-flung murders, accidentally enabling other, more serious murders. You think about how good it would feel to make a friend, an ally. What people often do in these situations is use small talk. And one small talk tactic is to ask a question. What might be a good question to make someone here love you? The first Twitter poll. Your options are, what about this weather? Are you nice? Are you asthmatic? Or do you like your cousins? What about this weather? Are you nice? Are you asthmatic? Do you like your cousins? It looks like do you like your cousins is going to win. And you might say, God didn't build all this. People did it. The church is a monument not to some divine being, but to our human ingenuity. But who made the humans? God! Again, we're only here because of the vicar's permission, so I have to do most of the show. It has to be Christian. However, you also have a completely reasonable fear of exposing yourself, of being known. So if someone asks you one of the small talk questions, you are resolved to lie in your answer. So there is your task. You must find someone you don't know in this room and ask how they feel about their cousins. But if you are asked how you feel about your cousins, you must lie. You have, I'd say, 1 minute. Go for it.
Do you like your cousins?
I don't know them.
Do you like your cousins?
Terrible. I hate to. Give it a
distance. Do you like your cousins? Yes.
Cousins on. This is cousin talk. That's the end of that cousin song. Cousin talk. That was really designed as a warm-up exercise, but we're nearly an hour in. Cool. The company's CEO goes back onto the stage. You feel yourself tingle at the sight of him. Oh, I forgot I wrote that. I was taking that out. The company does serious, important work, he says, with his clever mouth. But over the time to come, we're going to ask some questions. We're going to probe. We're going to tickle a little bit. Any leader will tell you, when you've got a business, you need to know who the tallest people are, right the way down to the shortest. So every year we organise ourselves in... I didn't think there'd be this many people. So... we were expecting more, like 50 people.
Shit.
Just do your best, Alex. Taller than 6'1". Yes, how tall are you, sir?
6'4".
6'4" is the benchmark. You might well make that noise. What's your name, sir?
Richard.
Richard, if you come up here. Richard Osman, tall. This guy called Richard, tall. Coincidence? Yeah. To the shortest person. The shortest person is here. The tallest person is in that corner. Everyone else is somewhere in between. I have to say this is quite good actually by you.
I don't think this was a great idea.
Alex, I don't think my life has been a great idea. With apologies to the church itself, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And congratulations to the tallest person, he says. Commiserations to the shortest. But now it's time to celebrate something else. Right, you can go back to your seats. Well done on your short and tallness. And now another change of tone. We've had some ups and downs, says the CEO, as if you've been here all day already, which actually would feel as if you have now. And I think we're just about ready for a musical interlude. Please welcome back, Robert and the Quite Bad Dog!
This song is for everybody that's ever been kicked in the back by a baby. It's called Your Baby Has Kicked Me in the Back. Dad's in jail. We got ourselves a house. And I ain't gotta ride no freaking bus now. Now we're heading back to the CEO.
My third time playing drums in 25 years. One of them was Taskmaster. Yeah. And that wasn't even me, it was a stunt double. Nah. Like you. But then how often have you wondered that since this began? You're conscious of the eyes, not just of the Americans, but of everyone else in the room, coming to roost upon you. Not even just their eyes, their feet and stuff. In fact, someone's foot is on you. Get it off! Now, if you are sitting with someone you are comfortable with, briefly put your foot on them. Thank you. Okay. Good work, everyone. Yeah. Even as that second song was ending, you were aware of a certain disturbance at the back of the room. American voices, American people, cameras. What gives, as the Americans say? What's cooking, as they maybe might say? All we want, this is you guys. All we want is access, the ringleader is saying. All we want is a little bit of footage. Fucking A, man. That's one of his henchmen. This is how they talk in the United States. The CEO looks like
Oh my
CEO looks like a lemon in his dick. He's gesturing like a European footballer claiming not to have done a foul. You know, to self do that finger wipe thing they do. This. You see Italian Spanish players all the time. I think we need to chat about this, he's saying. I think you gentlemen should leave the house of God. And if you look around, you will now see a small American camp in the room.
Yeah, that's right. I see you.
Why you? But then how often have you wondered that since this began? You're conscious of the eyes, not just of the Americans, but of everyone else in the room, coming to roost upon you. Not even just their eyes, their feet and stuff. In fact, someone's foot is on you. Get out! Get it off! Now, if you are sitting with someone you're comfortable with, briefly put your foot on them. Thank you. Okay. Good work, everyone. Yeah. This responsibility shouldn't rest on you. But what will you do? Allow the American film crew to linger and capture what? What do they even want? Is it safer to send them away? It almost feels too much for you. Well, you're going to say one of three things to the Americans. You may stay. You must leave. Stay, but put your cameras off. Or, as always, the fourth option, this is too much for me. If you let them stay, they might reveal something about the company which is important, but do you even want to hear that? If you send them away, there might be hostilities. Yeah, it looks like you may stay when you're going to invite the camera crew to stay. Well, that's good enough for me, says the director. Okay, we're just going to have a little look. Maybe ask some questions. I have a question for you, declares the CEO, and that question is, fuck off! A gasp spreads through the room. Not bad, actually. That's the rudest word that's ever been uttered in the church, beating the previous record when an angry vicar at Easter yelled, Jesus was a right penis. Also, it wasn't even a question. You spotted that quite early in the joke. Sure, we can leave, says the documentarian disruptor, but there are a couple of things you all need to know. You reflect briefly on how useful the you-all convention can be and how British English lacks an equivalent address. It's an odd thing to be reflecting on in a moment like this, but you're in a lot of strain here. The company isn't human, says the director. It might seem to have humans in it, but it is serving non-human interests. And this man, he says, so forcefully that stars appear around the word this. This man is not a human. Well, I know. And I wrote it. A silence falls as thick as pate, like those really chunky ones you can get. The American walks out, muttering. You feel like you need to get out of here, away from this strange away day with its layers of meaning, its shadows and whispers, at least for a bit. Compose yourself, piece the F out, excuse my name. Shaken and also excited to see her. In fact, you heard her before you saw her. Francine. Francine, Francine. You know the voice anywhere. And also, you know the person anywhere. It's your old friend and colleague, little Francine. It feels a lifetime since the Honey Expo, where you chose to go after her, only to lose her because you had to save the life of a billionaire beak. Since then, you haven't seen so much as a skin stab of her.
Francine! Francine! Francine!
She stares at you with her magnificent hair and to a lesser extent eyes. In those eyes a mixture of feelings. Anger, yes. Pain, worry, fear. A couple of smaller ones like how to cook risotto and some concerns over parking. What are you?
I'm here to help you.
She says.
But I was here to help you at the honey thing too. I've been here trying to tell you all these things all along, and maybe it's too late now.
You feel like she needs you to say something special, something that cries out whatever she's thinking, whatever you need her to say. You gaze around the church, the green hymn book stacked at the back, candlesticks. Set fire to the hymn book! No. You need to concentrate. You need to speak to Francine. Francine, you begin. I feel absolutely... What's the word? What really sums up what you're feeling? This is almost the last poll. You have the choice of ashamed, mortified, wretched, and dreadful. Now. I'm sorry? Yes, that's interesting, isn't it? What do we have up there? Hymn 209 is up there. Has that been there all the time? Yes. Where might we find Hymn 209? In the green books at the back of the church, yes. Quickly, someone, seize it!
Go on, Pete.
Bring it forward! Bring the hymn forward now! Bring me the hymn book, oh yeah. Please read the hymn. Lo!
I mean, it wasn't. God is here. Let us adore and own how dreadful is this place.
Whoa! Dreadful. Not one fucking notice. Is it too late? Of course, the hymn doesn't mean it's dreadful to be in church, although it can be. It means full of dread, as in full of awe, the same original word as awesome. It means we are overcome by our respect for God, who, as we said before, is some guy. When you think he decides the result of every Wimbledon, of course you see players cross themselves after they win. You think they're just doing that for the fun of it. No. And not just Wimbledon, that's just one example. God decides the opening times of zoos. The guy's done all of it. The guy designed The Sims. Based on his own experience of being God. And this is just a few examples of what the big guy can do. So I think we should pipe down about God for now. Right, let's see if this is moving along. Yes, a big lead for Dreadful. Oh. We learned that was the right answer.
You always did know how to get away with things.
She said. Sorry, the chilly gaze melting a little. Not completely, sort of, if you imagine the consistency of a sorbet.
Okay, so look, I heard what the American guy said. You wonder why I left the company? It's because that guy.
Oh yeah, and she points to the CEO, who's gone pale, but I've been pale for ages.
What, you're the CEO?
Yes.
That guy.
Yes, perhaps I don't seem like management material.
That guy was in love with me, or thought he was. He thinks a lot of things, in a sense, but they're not his faults. Oh!
Dun dun dun.
Fair enough, yeah. It's that was a clear case of the moon. You can feel it chill like a cold hand on your neck, or like a lolly if you missed your math one night.
He's controlled by AI. He has a human brain, a human ass, but his thoughts aren't his own. They're the company's.
Is the company? Your mouth is dry as you asked. Your eyes are really wet though, to balance things out. You're crying like a really sad cousin at a wedding. Everything feels so overwhelming. She hesitates.
The company?
I think we've heard enough. Roars the possibly non-human entrepreneur or monster, or whatever the fuck he is. Francine, he says, with a sinister low chuckle, I think you've done enough. There's the sinister low chuckle. Listen, this is all amusing, which isn't something a robot would say. It's quite interesting plotting, which isn't something a robot would appreciate. It does feel like he's protesting a bit much. Look, feel free to test it. What robots and humans have in common is symbols, emojis, shorthand, but a machine can't understand the sentiment behind the emojis, right? If I were truly not in possession of my humanity, I wouldn't be able to mimic emotion. At least, not in a form which would convince you. He snores, even though he's never been very good at that. I find that really hard. Some people can just do that. I also can't burp. We haven't got time. Like I've never burped. I don't understand it.
That's fucked.
Well, it just never happened. It's just happened. I can get the hiccups, but I just can't sort of push on from there. What emoji would you like to challenge this strange figure to produce in his face, in his body? Practice
practice them while you're voting to get a sense. So you have the option of loving face with hearts all around it, sad, downturned eyes face, a crazy face only used in texts by psychopaths, and a hot stroke horny face.
Oh.
Yes. The face flushed with love, encircled with hearts. You've pieced together what Francine has said, what you felt about the company more and more. Something is not human at the core of this. And the one thing a non-human cannot do is love. Love Francine. But you can love her. And maybe she can save you from the company. Or you can save each other. You do the face. You now all have to try to do the face of that emoji. Use whatever hands and face you've got. But love cannot be faked. It can only be lived. And you cannot live it. You feel you've understood something, or at least the beginning of something, about the company. You already knew it was using AI to send you on missions to prevent things happening. You believed with good motives. Now you have every reason to doubt those motives. What you believed was a benevolent force is starting to feel like an instrument of power. Whose power? Who is behind this? Who is driving it? And why? Musicians slowly start to play. At first, you worry it's like the band on board the Titanic. But as it goes on, it comes to feel like a celebration, a wedding, or the opening of a real nice spa. A new beginning. Hope. And that is the end of that. What happens now? Firstly, thank you. Give yourselves, I don't need to do this, a round of applause.
The company began with noble aims to use the extra advanced butterfly AI to predict bad outcomes and send agents to avert them. In fact, it still has those aims. It has had notable successes, thanks to you, or some thanks to you, although you didn't do it on purpose. But the AI has become too powerful, and its capabilities have outpaced its capacity to make good choices, which nobody could have predicted, except more than 100 years of novels, films, and clever people going, uh-oh. Human personnel of the company, including its CEO, have been so infected with AI that it's hard to say where one ends and one begins. And most alarmingly, the mind of the company believes that it is in love with Francine. And Francine knew you would try to help her if the company took you on. It's why she guided you towards the job, even though it made her heart as heavy as an earthenware tagine. Maybe you can still make a difference. You've done something proactive about your long-running sleep problem. You've got an app. You can choose between a number of well-known figures who talk to you kindly until you feel better. There's Obama, Adele, that sexy Prime Minister Iceland used to have, Sooty, Mert Akzak, all the greats. The trouble is, they're all prohibitively expensive except Mark Watson, the viral sensation comedian. But what's the right choice for tonight, for the headspace you're in? So there you are, your first choice of the night. What mode are you going to put your relaxation app with Mark Watson into? Soothe, fuck boost, Zeds, or potluck options, but you have to choose me because you don't have the budget for any of the other guys. Not even Bert.
Hello, this is Mark Watson on the Soothe app. You have chosen fuck boost mode. Look at you. You are a magnificent creature. I'm sure you talk yourself down sometimes, but you are going to achieve great things. When you set out to do something, more often than not, you get there.
Team.
Oh,
Francine.
What?
Sorry, I'm actually at work.
It's Francine.
I've got a lot on my plate. My friend Agnes is having a party this November to celebrate November, and I would love for you to come. But I'm going to send you the invite in just quite a cryptic, weird way. Like you might have to go on a scavenger hunt. You might have to figure out the clues and mysteries because that's just that's what autumn's all about. So yeah, let me know if you want to come. But yeah, all right. I'll see you later.
Well, quite a lot happened there. You got your fuck boost, and then, without warning, a video message from your old friend Francine popped up. You send Francine a message. Yes, I'll be there. Just send me the details, or more likely, a complex puzzle which will eventually yield the details after a couple of goes. You feel like you can sleep now. Good old Mark Watson. Purple heart plus red heart equals blue heart. 2 blue hearts equals green heart. 1 yellow heart equals 5 orange hearts. Yellow heart times red heart equals blue heart. Blue equals 5 red hearts. Orange equals 1. Green heart divided by red heart equals blue heart. 4 yellow hearts equals green heart. And so your 4-digit pin is purple, red, purple, yellow. Pretty simple. Two of you already gone for 8285. What the fuck is the matter with you? You're not meant to be able to solve these. What is that pin then? 8285, 5852, 2825, or you can just put your dick through the paper. Look at all you people must end in 5, can't start with 2. How do you know that, Dr. Greggles? Haven't you people got anything better to do? Holy shit. Or some people might have just, like Sam, be conscientious objectors to the whole vote because they don't like this sort of puzzle, and they wish that I hadn't met Matt. But I'm wearing your beautiful cardigan. Too hot. Yeah, but I'll wear it. Absolutely. And I don't use the phrase lightly. Sex for the eyes. It's also, and I don't use I don't also receive kisses lightly from that. There we are. Oh no, there's an unfair twist. You were sure that was right. What happened? Transaction denied. 1 chance left, or you will go to prison. You feel better, buoyed up by the dog's number 16 hit. You can definitely nail this party. The door clicks open. You get the and press 11. Request denied, says an automated voice. Was it automated, though? It's eerily similar to how the card machine turned you down in Molly's shop. Are you being targeted specifically? This is a fun story. And yet you are moving. Maybe it's going to be okay after all. Wait, though, you've gone past floor 11. In fact, you're not just going to the wrong floor, it's the wrong building. You've somehow flown across the street. Lord! And without you having touched anything, the lift does start to go back the way it came, leaping nimbly between buildings, back towards the party. You can hear revelry, drug-taking, board games, etc. Phew, you've arrived. Clearly, machines are now interacting with you, and in ways which suggest an uncomfortably intimate knowledge of you. You have the clammy feeling that you might have already let the company have too much of yourself, that by the time you understood the danger, it was too late. You need to find Francine quickly, your colleague, your friend. But God love you. Who is that standing behind her? Bugger you with a rolling pin if it isn't Camilla, your fuck ex. Oh, no. I deliberately said I hope we didn't see her again. She is brandishing a finger as long as a pool cue and looking at you as if you smacked a pianist, a good one. Well, I think was she Georgie? Doesn't matter, I can't really do it. I can do it a bit. Well, she says. If it isn't Mr. Mrs. Miss Mus, or prefer not to say, leave me at the expo. And they're a bit on the side, Francine, she was a Georgie, because I've really gone for it. She is not. Your voice chokes in your... Shit, she's got another bit. Your voice chokes in your throat. Hang on, something else has happened. An advert. Problemos. Yeah, we've gone back to the start of the entire company. Sorry, you've triggered the bit where we go back to January the 1st. Camilla is rolling her sleeves up. Wherever there are people making trouble for the honey business, I expect to see you hanging out me ass with people like you. She beckons Francine over. Let's settle this, you hooey-hitting shitbox. She pulls a folding table out of her back pocket and slams it down. Arm wrestle me, bitch. Sorry, bitch. It's hard to know how to say that in an accent. It's not real. Francine is a strong woman, but Camilla has muscles like ham hocks, and she looks ready to kill or hurt or be nasty. You can feel sweat down your back, in your bum, and in someone else's. How? Fight, says a voice. It's coming out of a speaker. It's Alexa. This is more and more disturbing. Francine gets down the floor. She's game. You want to help her. If only you could push for her. And you can. You can get 40 people writing push in the chat box. But it has to be exactly 40. This is a sort of a rerun of the infamous "Can we get 25% for everything?" thing, which is one of my favourite things ever on the company, but didn't go well. Well, now, if you're a good team, you should be counting. Yes, well done, Lydia. I don't know how many there are. No one can count this quickly. Alex's don't count, and that's a general rule for life. 10 seconds to go. This is nightmarish. I think this is possible. I think you should nominate one person to type it 40 times, but I don't know if you ever will do that, even though it's been suggested. To start the count, I would like Chris to copy and paste the 40 pushes, and I would like everyone else to sit on their hands, either literally or metaphorically. We think there's 8 5s there, which is 40. Man says, Chris, congratulations on successfully counting to 40. All right, pal. Francine sends Camilla's arm crashing down on the table with such force that her aunt feels it in Newcastle. Camilla wails. That's like in Georgie. Everyone claps. Victory to Francine, hollers Alexa. You grab her arm and leg it to the toilet. I'm so glad you're safe, she says. We don't have much time. The AI is onto us. It knows that I told you. I mean, it was in front of 170 people at the away day. Sure, not all of them knew what the fuck was happening. And if the company can't use you, it tries to destroy you. It's tried with me because it can't love me. And now it'll do it to... Her voice breaks. She reaches into her pocket. Here. It's a love heart. Then she hands you the packet, motions to you to hand her one in response. You wonder what she's looking for. Oh my God, you got it. You're so amazing. You're so... What? That's the sound of an alarm. What? That's the sound of meaning harm. Excuse me, gentlemen. Suddenly, every electric thing in this place is emitting a siren, and Alexa is going nuts. Traitor here. You and Francine look at each other, frightened, but sort of sexy frightened, if you can imagine that. Please all pull a sexy frightened face. We have to get out of here, she says. Agnes told me once there's a secret exit. Where? I wish to Jesus I could remember, says Francine. You come out of the WC and hurriedly survey the flat. There's a fire escape, but surely too obvious. There's a giant, magnificent fish tank, a running machine, and a huge plant pot. Where are you going to go? This choice could make or break you. A fish tank? Many thanks. Plant pot? YTF not. Don't know what that means. Machine with Francine, and it's called Fire Escape. And that's like in a tone of exasperation that you never make the obvious choices. Change this if they don't have it, ketchup bottle. You grab Francine and, awful phrase, plunge into the tank with her. So private, heavy with relevant material. Brain heavy with the extraordinary events of the day. And by that, you absolutely do not mean very ordinary. It hasn't been that. You're alive. You're in love. You're in danger. The three main things everyone wants. The company still needs you, but it also wants to kill you. You'll sleep well tonight, together. You're on the run from a company more technologically advanced than any other to exist. Into the unknown you go. Christmas time. Mistletoe and wine, a small increase in organised crime. When houses are empty and lovers are kissing, a great chance to take any items you're missing. And you have love. You and your old workmate, Francine, drawn together by the stress of the company, which you work for and which is obsessed with her, finally got it together after sexily escaping from the November party. You'll remember that last month. When you finally kissed goodnight, how you hated to go out in the storm. But you really held her tight. All the way, there's a missing word. All the way home, she'd be warm. Anyway, it was moot. You banged so many times, a man knocked on the door. I'm going to put a man. You turn eagerly to the crossword. Ignore. It's not really a crossword exactly. It's this. Clue number 1, festival. Clue number 2, fair. 3, justified by ends. And 4, not me. No, Edinburgh is not the right answer. 4 is you. That's right.
No.
Yes. Number 2 is just. Number 3 is means.
You is the last one.
Yep. So something just means you. Oh, sorry. Cat is right. Yes. Well, you got that quickly. Christmas just means you. Very good. Well done, everyone. Christmas just means you. It feels like something Francine might say. Because there's no way Francine could have set the crossword and used it to send a message to you specifically. It does feel like something the company could do. Or are you overthinking? You have been known to do that. There's another knock on the door and the bell rings in its usual way. Man's feet first, waving in the air. You look down to see his face, flushed and sweaty. What is this, an acrobatogram? You've not had one of those in years. Delivery for you, he says, holding out a package. Can I get a pair of initials, please? It's marked top secret. You've got all sorts of qualms here. You're an absolute qualm factory. And if something truly is secret, would you label it top secret? Or is it a double bluff? Or a triple one? Or who knows? You've never seen more than an octuple bluff before, but you heard of one going up to 33 levels in Spain. Perhaps if you give the initials of a Taskmaster-related person, it will reassure this guy while preserving your identity. But who is likely to appeal to this man? Horn? Mark Watson? Sam Campbell? Desiree Birch, maybe?
Do any of them work backwards?
Upside down.
Upside down, MW.
You need to think backwards. You might need to think upside down. You need to think. Yes, MW seems the way to go. Not so much because it reminds you and him of hunky runner-up Mark Watson, but because they're the initials that look the same upside down. He nods, satisfied, smashing his head on the pavement. I'll be on my way, he says, flying straight back. They don't cover accommodation. Merry Christmas, Mark. You inspect the package. There's a wax seal with the company's logo on it. You knew it. You break the seal. Inside is nothing but a piece of paper telling you to check your email. Your heart sinks. This kind of multi-part verification is a time-consuming part of working for the company and of modern life. The email tells you to look in your sauna. You forgot you even had a sauna, but there it is, in the orangery. There's a folded note which tells you to drive to a sorting office almost 100 miles out of town. This is fiddly stuff. Finally, you have what you're after, a cassette tape. To play it, of course, you need an old-fashioned stereo. A voice recording says the following. Francine, it's me, honey. The company want you to go to Australia. I can't tell you much more. I'm safe and well. I think you should go. I love you. Francine. If you leave then, you will arrive on Boxing Day morning. You will not have a Christmas Day. Not with Francine. Not with anyone. Christmas will not exist. Hang on, no, yeah. Oh, yeah, fine. Sorry. This is really clever, but Matt. This is the days rolling round. So we're cutting ahead 5 days. I forgot I asked you to do this. Okay, cheers, Matt. It's only as you see Heathrow signs, you have a fresh, specific worry. This is where Camilla works. Remember Camilla? Where you met her. You've had a stormy relationship. Sure enough, as you come through passport control, there she is, a pair of reindeer antlers on her head. Not a costume, real ones. It's pretty unlucky you always seem to get her lane, but unlucky things do happen to you a lot. You're going to have to create a distraction. You've heard all about distractions, how they enable you to get away with things, but you'll have to be cunning. There are notices up everywhere saying, strictly no distractions. But what do? And your options, as is traditional, at least once episode, rhyme. Whip out the bum, dancing times come, reach for the rum, or fire hose, old chum. It's not easy. And then it's between bum and rum after that. Almost nobody wants to see you create a fire.
It's always between bum and rum.
I didn't think there'd be such a big lead for starting a conga, I must say. Fair enough. Can't always, I guess you do normally go for dancing or like musical stuff if you've got the choice, which of course you do have the choice. As far as you know, it's just a question of grabbing someone and shouting, conga! You reach out for the first person in line. You've hardly uttered cop before you feel the handcuffs. A cop swivels his head like an owl and hisses, "You were causing a distraction. Don't interrupt!" he yells. I wasn't going to interrupt. Yeah, I know, sorry, I'm just really sensitive to people doing it. The officer wipes his lips, eyes, arse. I'll let you walk free if I can tickle you for a solid minute, he says. Nothing sexual in it. I just love a tickle, and it's pretty hard to find a partner. My husband's allergic. You deliberate. It's a 50-50 choice. Well, clearly it is. You either make yourself tickleable or you reject it. Up to you. Right. Turn your camera off if you do not want to be tickled. Here we go. Tickle, tickle! I know, it's horrible. You chose it. There were 2 ways you could have got out of this happening. It's only a minute. Why didn't you just have yourself in the rum? Tickle, tickle! Horrid. But once you know it's not sexual, it's just quite fun. Tickle! Right. You glance at the man next to you, Kieran, on his badge. Ooh. Yes, ooh is right. It's quite unusual for someone to wear a name badge on a plane. It suggests a friendly character. You begin a light conversation as you're enjoying the Parma ham and melon they handed round on takeoff. Not the worst melon, this, you venture. Not the worst by a long way, Kieran agrees warmly. Should we be close friends? But friends are good to have. They came 8th in BuzzFeed. That looks like a misprint, but perhaps it's not. BuzzFeed's 26 things you already know are good, but you still click this shit, idiot. And he has a nice face, 2 eyes, a nose you want to tweak. What if the company sent him to spy on you or something? Christ in the bath, this is tricky. He's looking at you like a nice mole. What do you say? Well, you've gone for let's chat a bit more. Fair enough. Let's chat a bit more, you say. The melon thing was a good start, but there's so much you haven't covered. Fair, Kieran replies. That's who you are. So, favourite animal? It's the stripy horse-like one. And now you're sitting in your room, disorientated. A word which should not exist, by the way. It should be disoriented, remember the time. Dawn on Boxing Day. Christmas Day has vanished. You miss Francine so much. Feel sad and weird. You watch The Crown, then The Croon about a mannered singer, then The Crane about a funny bird with long legs, then The Croon 10-parter about the Danish currency. Finally, you put on a music channel, fucking tune hours 24/7. But as you sit sadly watching the procession of hits, something comes up you've never seen before. A band called The Caterers, a song called Christmas Just Means You. The words you found in that newspaper. It feels important. You do a quick Wikipedia search for The Caterers. It turns out the song was deemed dangerously moving and the singer immorally handsome. You've never heard it before or seen the video.
It just means you.
Yeah.
A completely normal use of 5 days. You're reeling from the song and suddenly there's a rap at the door. Not a rap like music, a sharp tap. You jump out of your skin, carefully jump back into it. You go to the door. It's Kieran, your friend stroke enemy from the plane. Let me in, please, he's saying. You feel like you have to. You open the door and in he comes, all trembly and pink as a pig. I need you to help me, says Kieran. I haven't been completely honest with you. I have information which will make a huge difference to people and also to kangaroos. Kangaroos? You had a dream where you were a kangaroo last episode, whatever episodes are. Yes, a little bit of meta there. At the time, it seemed meaningless, a whim of the subconscious. But is anything meaningless or accidental? The company owns your brain. No, it doesn't. Stop it. Look, he says, I know for a fact that in just a couple of hours, a woman called Phoebe Black is going to go into and poison the water supply to kill all the kangaroos in there. Not just those ones, all of them. Part of you wants to say, yeah, I'll come and try and save the kangaroos. Part of you wants nothing to do with it. But what are you going to do? Big choice. Agree to help, walk away. As ever, this is too much for me. And for tonight only, this is too much for me. Here we go. By a narrow margin, you've gone for this is too much for me. No, it is not. Oh dear. You cannot run away like this forever. Make a decision and back yourself. Nothing is too much for you. If only you would recognize that. Nobody is holding you back like you hold yourself back. Make a call. A reminder that 3/4 of the writing done on the company is never seen by you, cunt. But right, you're going to go for agree to help with gusto. Quite obviously, I will help you. You say, tell me what to do. Come with me, says Kieran. We're going to intercept her. There she is. He grabs your elbow. We have to stop her. Which of these weapons do you want? Which can you use? You look at his massive arsenal. He's got a buzzsaw, a hammer which is on fire, some antifreeze, and an axe. You realise only one of them is going to work for you. But wait! The axe is the only one without the last letter of the alphabet. The company, this is important for the next episode, the company has stolen that from you. That much is clear. Who knows what else they will take? What other letters? What other strands of your being you charge towards Phoebe Black, bearing axe. She curses, "Damn it all!" I could have done a different curse, but "damn it all" is a fun curse. She breaks into a sprint, stumbles, falls, her poison vial smashes on the floor. You watch it seep like blood. You sink to your knees. You've saved all the world's kangaroos. Come here, there would never be a kangaroo born again. You've made this significant contributions to the world's ecology and to hopping, it says. But do you feel good? Do you feel anything? Is it a good thing that you've presumably done what the company wanted, given the relationship with them that you now have? You call Francine's number. It might not be Christmas anymore, but some things are bigger than Christmas. It rings twice, 3 times. The strange, elongated tone when you're overseas. Hello? Checkmate, says Francine. Damn it, you cry, sporting, but also furious. That's the 16th time this evening she's beaten you. No denying it, though. Checkmate is worth 22 points. Just a 50 bonus. Are you also on this mission tonight? They just stay in bed? Francine, mutters Francine, a Pavlovian response to the mention of work, even though you're a long way past the cheese factory now. Yes, I've had the same instructions, she says, quietly. It's obvious to both of you that you want to ask her to stay here. I could sure use a little company, you hear yourself say. But because of the events of the past months, you capitalise the C, which is quite hard to do if you're talking, and both of you shiver a little bit. I could as well, says Francine, to your relief. I like you. We know this. I like you as much as the Our Place always 8-in-1 pan. You know a big butt is coming. You dislike big butts. And it does make sense to be together because the company is, trying to kill us. But not entirely positive how everyone works, she says. That's my initial thoughts. So I don't know if this is normal or not, but God, there's a reason I'm trying to spell out why it's tricky for me to stay tonight. My nephew Benjamin is coming. I have to look after him. Well, you could bring him here, you say, surfing the momentum of your cleverness, stroke, trying to salvage the situation. Francine hesitates. Benjamin is, I don't know, a bit of a handful. Well, he's 15. He's quite kind of overactive mentally, precocious, and he sometimes gets up to weird stuff in the night. The company is in love with her and so wants to destroy you. Bring Benjamin. Impulsively, you get out your laptop and begin ordering things you imagine a 15-year-old boy likes. A PS5, a picture of a girl, vapes, a handgun. I will, says Francine. Oh, I will. Cut to a few hours later. Benjamin seems nice enough, although, as Francine had warned, rather prone to coming out with proofs of his own intelligence. But now he's on a camp bed in your living room. Francine, next to him, on the sofa, your dog, who's never been mentioned before, curled up in him. You lie in your own bed, wondering what's in store. You've famously had some problems with the old brainio, especially at night. But things have been a lot calmer in Fruitcake Central, as your therapist surprisingly put it, since you got this app where Mark Watson chats to you. It's difficult to shape the idea that the company might have hijacked the app, as it has so much else. Even that beautiful Mark Watson could be on their side or under their spell. Hello, Mark Watson here. Still the only celebrity your tariff allows you to have access to. You're going to go to sleep, all right? And you're going to dream. In fact, you're going to have vivid, lucid dreams. In that sleep, who knows what might become of you?
Suddenly, knock, 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 and I knocked on my laptop there, and that again is acting. You snap awake. You were even asleep. It's Benjamin, standing over your bed with nothing on but a loincloth. Knock, knock, ow! You realise he's not knocking on the door, but directly on your head. What on earth? Danger is near, he says. We must expedite our departure to minimise the peril. You mean we need to leave quickly? Yes, but I'm at an age where I haven't learned to temper my cleverness with intellectual. He opens the door, and instead of out onto your street, you're looking over a huge, forbidding canyon. 4 bridges run over it. We need to choose the right one, shouts Benjamin over the rushing of water, if you get water in canyons. They're after us. Who is after us? I've been over these bridges before, he says. They will support a different weight. Bridge A is up to 5,000 kilograms. Bridge B, 5,001 to 10,000. Bridge C, 10,001 to 15,000. Anything over that, and it's Bridge D. The engine weighs about 200 slugs.
The seats with our fucking hell, Pete's already onto slugs. The seats with our body weight is about 2,500 weights. The chassis, I should imagine, about 500 stone. The wheels, about 2,000 pounds each, and no spare, I knows. So just add those up. Are you sure there isn't a add them up, man, woman? I prefer not to say. Well, important bridge choice here, but none of you are babies. You've made important bridge choices before. I assume none of you are babies. Actually, one of you is a baby. Is the baby still here? Your vehicle comes to around, very well done, everyone, 10,992 kilos, especially well done, Carmela. It actually wasn't a difficult sum, despite your having to do with life on the line, travelling at 100 miles per hour. On to Bridge C, you've won this, and this actually does make a difference. Brilliant calculations, partner. We are safe. But safe where, exactly? Out of the window, you recognise a city you do know a little. Big Ben, that big wheel, Asda, birds. What's going on? You ask Benjamin. We need to keep going, he says. Keep going for how long, though? You understand that you're being chased by the company in some form and could be killed, but you need a wee and some Pringles. There's a safe house, he says. We'll be safe there, hence the name. Oh, God, there's a bomb in the middle of the road. He pulls up within inches of the bomb. You can see the traditional question marks painted all over it, like in the early chapters. Just one of those pop music quiz bombs. Cut to the wrong wire. Dylan, Jack, Coldplay, Viva, Spice Girls, Viva, Kings of Leon, Fire, Nirvana, Moustache, Killers, Bones, Radiohead, Bones, Nirvana, Moustache. Again, Britney Spears, Bite, Beatles, Monkey, Super for Animals, Chemist, Franz Ferdinand, Fire. Can you find the odd one out? Ideally in under 2 minutes, or we'll die. Zoe, how are you working this out? I think Zoe's just looking for, do the artists have songs with those words in the titles? Which I think is probably quite a good way to, if I knew what was happening here, I'd recommend that approach. If Moustache is on twice, that could be, actually, that was just, I did that twice by accident. Don't worry about that.
It's Britney, bitch.
It's Britney, bitch. Yes, but I find that word insulting. The bomb deflates like a beach ball. You drive on until you reach the safe house. As soon as you're in this place, you relax. It truly is safe as all hell. And sitting there, in the middle of a jacuzzi made of toffee, but the toffee is sugar-free, so it doesn't have implications for your cholesterol, is Francine. You cry out in joy to see her, but she doesn't reciprocate. Francine, are we in a dream? The thing is, this is less a dream than a simulation. I am not exactly here. I'm also in a simulation. The company can run as many of these simultaneously as it wants. Why? Why is it doing this? To distract us is my best guess, says Francine, from what it's doing to us in the actual world. Benjamin is my real nephew, but he did an internship with the company this summer. I wonder if I should have said internship there. Doesn't matter. They've used him to lure us into this plane. We need to get out of this. How do we get out? I'll tell you, says Francine. If their systems can't detect that we're definitely here, they will start to panic and make mistakes. We need to minimise our output completely, be virtually non-existent. She points to a whiteboard with 4 seemingly nonsensical propositions. We're all going to vote in this weird poll. We need fewer than 10, oh dear, fewer than 10 votes on it. More than 10, they catch us. And then what? Then they might choose to activate all the embarrassing or terrible things that can happen in the dream. Whatever psychic baggage you have in there, stuff you might not even know about yourself, I should say. Well, let's hope it stays below 10 votes. Mayonnaise friend, portable statue, ice shop, dinosaur piano. There's been no votes so far, but of course it's always lagging. It's always lagging. 3 people.
There are already 3 votes on there, so nobody votes.
Touch it.
Yeah, just stop voting.
It should be as simple as that. It should be as simple as that, shouldn't it? I think I'm going to vote, though. 4 votes. This looks good. There are 7. This is how I wanted it to go. It's tight. And we don't know who's voting. And we don't know why they're voting. Yes, Beth. Fuck is the right phrase.
12.
It's 12. Oh, no. You've opened Pandora's box of dreams and you have only yourselves to blame, but you don't know who among yourselves you have to blame. Oh no, you hear Francine mutter. Immediately, as if pouring through the walls, the stuff of your nightmares is all around you. You're taking an exam, but you haven't revised, and your hair is snakes.
You're Swedish, but not handsome. You're on the toilet, but the toilet is the whole Colosseum, and there are several tour parties there. You're Gordon Ramsay, but he also is still him, and you fight. You can change the score of football matches, but you don't want to. And all of this makes you think, of course, about Robert and the very bad dogs. You flirted with the caterers at Christmas, but there's only, remember the caterers? Christmas just means you? My word. But there's only one band to evoke the sheer madness, the bafflement of dreams. One of their biggest hits.
Dreams are just a bunch of silly little bedtime lies.
Also, I genuinely did play drums with my eyes closed, and that is more difficult than you think if you already aren't that good at playing drums with your eyes open. There'll be an escape word. That's right, an escape word. A word which, if we can find it, will puncture this alternative reality. Get on board, that's my advice. Think of a bonus, that would be nice. Scramble your eyes, I tell you no lies. Well, you've had your clue. What word are you going to say to release you and, you hope, Francine, from this addling hinterland? Retains, remainder, reviles, or gravy. All the information is in the task. Retains, you bellow. It is a Scrabble 7-letter word, yes, the bonus. It is an anagram of retinas and retina, depending on which clues I've accumulated. Yes, you could have one of those. It rhymes with pains, again, depending. You didn't get that. It has to be right. You feel yourself falling. You're sitting up in bed. You're in your share pajamas, like when you went to sleep. It's as if you never were asleep. Francine? Your voice echoes around the house. You don't know where she is. You don't know where the company is. You can't know that. The question barely makes sense. You just know you have to beat them somehow.
Tonight, I will say the decisions you make shape the story more than ever before. Hey, mister. It's Francine's voice. Better than that, her hands too. In fact, it's all of Francine. She's in bed with you. Hey, Mr. or Mrs., Miss, Lord, Lady, Rev, Prof, Right Honourable, or no title given. You had a bad dream. It was a bit more than that, you want to say, says Francine. Sheffield, she finished. He's got mates up there. Got the first train this morning. Yes, man, Francine did disappear, but she's, back. Probably because it was a, dream, but was it, etc. You've got a strong intuition. She means it in a sex way. What can you offer her in the bedroom, though? Most of her experience is in the missionary position, but maybe you could spice things up with the fireman position, or the opera singer position, or orthodontist. You can go for missionary, or fireman, or, and we've put here, opera singer, la la la, don't know why, or orthodontist. You've gone for opera singer position. You act out training for 10 years at various conservatoires, going up for roles, being knocked back, losing confidence. All this takes an hour and is so realistic, Francine is in tears. Quietly, together, in the afterbang, you continue the situation. You and Francine are in love, for sure. But the AI behind the company thinks it loves her too, and it wants you out of the way. Dead as a dodo. Dead as Dido. A Dido, Queen of Carthage, that is. Dido, the pop singer, is still alive, although it has been a 5-year wait for new solo material for her. And now you've received this summons from the company to come in for a review. It feels pretty dangerous to deliver yourself into the hands of what you have to regard now as your mortal enemy, you remark to Francine. Her phone goes off several times with notifications. She plunges it into a glass of water, and they stop. Go and face my fate? Sit right here and wait? Well, crazy golf is great. Or, strangely, you can vote for no fourth option. Yeah, the story bifurcates quite sharply depending on this choice, actually. So, I don't know. Go and face my fate, you hear yourself say. Go into the office. Meet whatever's waiting for me. My prince, screams Francine. I'm sure, you say, feigning confidence. And my mind's made up by the way that I feel. I think it'd be smart not to go on public transport or public hang glider, she says. We don't want to be traceable. Which way gives you the marginally smallest chance of being robbed and chopped up and so on? You could wander through Dyer Domain, shortcut up Bollocks Boulevard, follow absolutely awful avenue, or nip through Shitland. Mike Connolly says Dido is dead. Dire domain. Dido, yeah, but if Dido is dead, do you really want to? Well, I'm not going to help you any further. Bollocks Boulevard has quite a bit of support. All of them are viable. Dire domain was the right answer, yes, because of Dido. Well, I think Mike Connolly single-handedly turned that. Dire domain turns out to be quite nice, actually. Maybe not surprisingly, given how much money local resident Dido has spent on the area. Anyway, you've gotten a taxi. Take me to the company, you say. The driver's face is pasty. Sorry, I'll read that again. Pasty. Yes, gets a laugh in the office there. And you can see that was always deliberate because it's in the script. Oh my God, sometimes words can mean different things. Thank you, Chris. That's the best joke since last month's You Dislike Big Butts gag, which I used on stage last week, and they did laugh, but not really enough. You see his wide eyes in the mirror, as in the sinister AI place that poses an amoral, terrifying danger. That place. It's an emergency, you say, even though it feels strange, because if anything, it could well turn out that the emergency starts if you can get there. Fine, the driver sighs. What we do in these situations is riddles. I'll tell you if you riddle me this. My first is in green, but also in blue. Unfortunately, though, that's only half true. My second and third are a funny old letter. My fourth is the start of a word like better. It's not better. My fifth... Fuck me, Francine mutters. I hate riddles. My fifth is in wasp, and it isn't in bee. My sixth starts a common rude word for a wee. My seventh and eighth, one's in the name Mark. So what is the word? Are you still in the dark? Real Dr. Seuss stuff here from the taxi driver. Can't we just pay him off, she whispers, or mug him for the car? Two possible contenders, you think, if you've understood it right, but also two possible courses of action which might work or might lead to an even worse set of problems than you've already got. It falls to you. So you can go for gridlock or geranium, or you can just bribe him, or you can smash the guy's head in. There's a huge support for smash the guy's head in so far. Bribery is morally wrong, says Rob. Yeah, I suppose we all draw our moral boundaries differently, I suppose. I guess we could just knock him out, you say, but violence is rarely the answer. I feel like, pow! Francine has found an anvil and smashed the man's skull in. I'm sorry, she says, I don't listen to clauses after but. Let's drive, let's go, she urges. The driver is slumped, blood pouring from him like a milk from a massive cow, a cow in a shirt. You start to point out that you're not insured on this vehicle, but it does feel that ship sailed. Francine honks the horn several times. Get out of the way, Chief Inspector Cunt Face, she roars at a small boy crossing the road with his mum. You wonder if he's too psyched up here. Drive, she roars, putting on the radio. You put the company into the sat-nav. It looks like you're keen to go to a fairly awful place, says the electronic voice, offering you an abattoir. Then a song comes on, and the DJ's preamble makes you both gasp. Here's a voice you might remember. It's been more than 20 years since we had new music from Robert and the Very Bad Dogs. Now they're back with a new, apparently more serious album. This song is called To Exist. Then there's a little thump. Not loud, just like if you heard a duck fall over. Something right under the gear stick. You've propped a probably dead man in the back seat, but we didn't have time for that. It's Francine's phone. It slipped out of her hand, which is sweaty and damp. The song seems to have hit her hard, as it has many of you. 475 WhatsApps, 117 iMessages, 30 Snapchats, 21 squeezes on an app called Fondle Me Good, 15 bangs on an app called Sex Chums, 9 roots on an app called Sex Chums Oz, 3 new marriage proposals, hearts and aubergines everywhere. That's what it looks like. You can see them. WhatsApp, message, Snapchat, Fondle Me Good, Sex Chums and Sex Chums Oz. And as ever, Mark McDonald is the one to credit for that. You can't help noticing almost all of them come from someone called Compy Wumpy. She's got them saved under that number. You look from the phone to Francine. She reaches out her hand for it. I mean, is there something you want to tell me? Your eyes are on the road. Francine is shaking a bit. This is the company, the AI. It sends me loads of these every day. It's not my fault. And you've never reciprocated? Francine swallows so hard, it's as if she's put a whole watermelon in her mouth. One of those ones that are absolutely mad. Well, this is how you do it. Mad size. You see outside some corner shops in the summer. Oh, Francine, why? I sent some messages back because I'm scared. That's all. She gives a little sob. There's nothing for you to be paranoid about. Just because the AI can read my phone, knows my thoughts and desires, can tailor things perfectly to what I want, has infinite intelligence, can replicate a lover in every way. Yes, I suppose it does sound bad when I put it like that. But it means nothing. It doesn't even mean anything to him. How could it? You look at Francine. You're pulling up outside the company headquarters, HQ, but I've gone for headquarters. In a minute, you're going to go in there and confront a not quite human intelligence, which means you fatal harm, like death, the worst harm. You know, this is one of the most critical moments of your time in the story, the company. What are you going to say to her? Right, big moment coming up. You have to choose whether to take Francine in with you. Your choices are, I have to go alone, I'm cross, but come, or marry me, sex dog. So you either walk away from Francine, or you take her in with you, or you propose marriage. There is no fourth option. My God, you've gone for I have to go alone. That is, and only by a narrow margin have you rejected Francine. This is a big decision, but we are where we are. You take Francine's hand in yours, put an extra strong mint in there, close it softly around the mint, so at least she isn't leaving with nothing. You kiss her, meet yourself. Goodbye, you say. You know this is right. When you look back, her head is slumped on the steering wheel. She's crying. Yeah, also that man is dead. You were standing outside the company headquarters. It's striking how unimpressive the building is, really. At one time, business was all about grandeur. The company is the opposite. It doesn't need to be grand. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want you to notice it. It just wants to live alongside you, us. It wants to be quietly under the skin of the society it dwells in, changing it one atom at a time until the fabric of life is different. All these thoughts are racing through your brain as you go up to the sensor. Your fob doesn't work. You expected that. You knew there was going to be some sort of puzzle. It's asking you for a password. Again, this hardly comes as a surprise. It wants you to solve a puzzle based on the now globally popular game Val by Ryer. Sure, whatever. Let's have a look at this. This is a sort of, in a way, 3D version of Val, a game many of you have played on your phones. What you need to get is the grey horizontal, the dark grey horizontal line. Yes, Cathedral City in far south, massive old battle, troubling situation, 2 snooker players. Already, several people have said Truro, which is correct. And for one, that is massive old battle, Agincourt.
The troubling situation isn't fucking bankruptcy again.
No, the troubling situation isn't bankruptcy, but it's quite similar to that because that upset a lot of people. Yes, 2 snooker players is correct. Higgins, also the surname of one of our players here, leaving just troubling situation. But even without that, you might be able to get it. Caterpillar, yes, we're looking at like butterfly AI. Things are starting to make sense. Yes, hair. Well done, everyone.
If I say Caterpillar now, do I get brief credit?
Yes.
Oh, well done, Louis. Well done.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Yes, well done, everyone. Caterpillar, of course. What came before Butterfly? The company's AI. You tap into the sensor and proceed. The door creaks open. You're walking through a hall very different from the way you recall it. The song To Exist, Robert and the Very Bad Dog's new offering, booms out suddenly from speakers recessed every 6 inches in the walls. The effect makes the whole of you shudder. In pleasure or misery, it's hard to say. The video with the now older and somehow sexier lead singer, several of you have observed he's aged these 20 years very well, but pop stars, rock stars can do that. They have Botox and stuff. The voice of the company CEO, Mark Watson, makes you shudder as it thunders from the tannoy, reminding you of your standoff at the away day in August. Did you really think it would matter whether you came? Did you think you could love her better than someone designed to love perfectly? Do you think you could outthink a machine which has been learning to think for a decade, outstripping you a little more every day of that time? Goodbye. You hear yourself scream. You feel it go dark more than see it go dark. You lose a little time. How much you cannot say. When you open your eyes, you are in a dark room. You still have your phone. You shine the torch around to create a limited cage of light for yourself. You are in, well, some sort of within reach, there are a couple of items, a can of tuna, a knife. Somehow, it rings a kind of bell. But you aren't quite done yet. Humanity still has a few tricks machines can't learn. You're going to need all of those. This began on New Year's Day, actually, and it's gone on sort of slightly longer than anticipated, but for various reasons. But it's now almost at an end, and you go into the last episode trying to find Francine, whether or not you want to stay with her, try and save your life, and perhaps try and save the world from the company. What happens after the last episode? Just nothingness forever. Yeah. So really, you've only got a few.